Namaste, divine beings. Today, I am sharing with you 20 inner truth secrets within yoga. My story of my personal experience with yoga was 28 years ago. After I had my death experience through which my guru took me, I felt I was a vast spirit in this body. I was just happy. I was blissful. I felt liberated. I felt I was in this body that was like an instrument. At that point in time, when I wanted to get started with yoga, I was frightened. I was a little bit afraid that my yogic practice could dilute the experience that I was in, that extreme, beautiful sense of bliss. And yet, when I practiced yoga, I felt it aligning. I felt my innermost joy joy and bliss align with yoga. Now, as we move forward, I will be teaching through the inner dimensions of yoga that was mentioned in my book, Mastery of Consciousness. And the experience of this will be in the upcoming January 23rd Ignite the Superhuman You workshop. Now, with this condensed time, let me go through the 20 dimensions of yoga that we would want to utilize to empower our yoga. First, before we get started talking about the inner dimensions of yoga, let's see how yoga benefits us. The first dimension, of course, is peace and inner harmony. We awaken the core within us. We begin to realize the truth of life, that we are the spirit having this human experience. We awaken all our potential. We awaken the siddhis, the special powers within us. Our mind is exercised to learn focus. Through the knowing, we are inspired beings. Our vibratory field is high, so we manifest things at ease. We welcome positive vibrations. And all the other dimensions of yogam. Yogam is the attainment of yoga, which ultimately is consciousness itself. So, divine beings, let's take our journey now. The first in our yoga practice is light a candle or a lamp. Fire element is that which connects us, the spiritual, to the space energy. When you light a lamp, invoke all the masters, invoke source in all the names or in any name. It's vital to invoke the blessings of light and source before we begin our journey within ourselves. The second is create an altar. Having an altar space means we are creating a vortex of light. What we create outside ourselves, we are creating within. So when we light a lamp outside, we are lighting a lamp within. When we create the altar, we are creating a pillar of light. This pillar of light within is the pillar of light outside ourselves. So the second dimension is create an altar, and when you create an altar, go around the altar, empower that space. Create the vortex of light within ourselves, so that space of light, the temple, the church, that place of worship is in our home. The next dimension is the power of success in life is the power of focus. So when you light a lamp, bring our mind to focus. When we go through the other processes of yoga, it's all about focus into singularity of the mind. So the mind trains itself in yoga. When we do yoga postures, each posture has a power, and each of the powers applicable in the reality fields, and each is that energy that actually works our reality fields. The next dimension is above the navel, there's a power. It's called the Guru Chakra. What they do not teach in textbooks, or what is, you could say, not really mentioned in the scriptures, is that after the root chakra, the most powerful chakra is the chakra above the navel. Now, when we do our yoga, bring attention to the power above the navel, because this exercise almost in an instant awakens us to understand that we are the spirit having the human experience. We are beyond the limits of the mind. We are beyond the limits of the body. What this means is we are able to go beyond heat and cold. We are able to go beyond hunger. We are able to go beyond even sleep. That is the power above the navel. So when you're doing yoga, bring focus to that. The next dimension is our yoga is of the physical. Hatha yoga is all about the spine. The spine, when it's exercised through a yoga, is youth in thinking, that keeps the brain and the mind youthful, but also especially the mind. So pay attention to the spine. Work with the spine as much as possible, because that is the true essence of our asanas, to be able to not only strengthen the spine but make it flexible. So our thinking too is empowered with this energy of the spinal cord, which really means ability to be flexible, ability to think outside the box, ability to bring in the power beyond the mind, and most important, to awaken and rejuvenate the youth within ourselves. The next dimension is the diaphragm. It's a very interesting dimension, because if we are really fit and you're climbing up a mountain, which part of our body pains us first? It is the diaphragm. The strength of the diaphragm is the power that is within each one of us. The diaphragm also is something like a wings of the bird. So every time when we are, before we start yoga, do the breathing exercises. And one of them is the focus on the diaphragm. The diaphragm is very much like, we can treat it like the wings of a crow or wings of an eagle. And the more we strengthen it, the more empowered we are in stamina. The physical stamina and the mental stamina, and the ability to sail across and beyond the mind. The next dimension is, this is very physical. And in the physical reality of yoga, as an exercise, the thigh muscles is very important. The thigh muscle is the largest muscle, and research has shown that when you exercise one muscle, even one muscle, all the other muscles get stimulated. So especially the thigh muscle, when you exercise the thigh muscles, all the other muscles get rejuvenated and stimulated. The next dimension is yoga is the journey of breath and consciousness. So when you're doing yoga, press the right big toe down and take a deep inhale, and you will open the sun energy. Press the right breath. Press the left big toe and take a deep inhale. Do it now. Feel the moon energy. The moon energy is the sleep. The energy we receive of rejuvenation when we are sleeping. The sun is when we are awake. Now it's also stimulating the mind, the left brain and the right brain. When we stimulate and work with the left brain and the right brain, we are exercising a powerful dimension of our mind. The states of genius is the left brain and the right brain working together and coordinating, and that's what we are exercising. So when you're doing yoga, pay attention to breath. Every breath, know where we are taking it from. Inhale from source, exhale to source, but through the breath of the left, which is the goddess breath, and the breath of the right, which is the sun breath. The next is, now as we get into the process of yoga, gratefulness is a very powerful word and powerful energy. So start with gratefulness and gratitude, starting from the cellular level. Your mother and father. The left breath, your mother. The right breath, your father. Feel every cell in the body in gratefulness. Connect to 7 generations of ancestors before us. Feel the gratefulness of every DNA within ourselves. So in this way, allow the process of yoga, the feeling within a yoga, to begin with gratefulness. Gratitude for the space, gratitude for the time, gratitude for the now. This essence of gratitude is something that we develop through yoga from start to finish. So in this way, we are now opening the doors wide to the vaster grace. The next dimension is the root chakra. Now, the root chakra holds a lot of energy and power. Great emperors rather, Ashoka, Emperor Constantine, they were able to move humanity to another level because they had powerful root chakras. Now when we do yoga, pay attention to the root. The root is Ganapati. Invoke the mantra of Ganapati. Awaken the power within. From the roots, as we begin with Ganapati, make the prayer, let my thought be the most optimal. Let my thought be wisdom. Let every thought of mine be goodness. Now, as we start working with the root chakra, understand that now we are coming to a primordial dimension. The story of Ganapati is Lord Shiva cutting the head off and it being replaced by an elephant head. The reality is we are letting go of our past and coming into the now. And understanding the now is so powerful, like an elephant. The primordial energy of the past, we are bringing it into angelic now. That is the power of the root chakra. The next dimension is invoke our gurus through our yoga. When I came to America, I missed my gurus a lot. But I realized that through my yoga, I was able to not only find them within me, guiding me and taking me through the journey within, but also that presence was something I felt I could always have. This is yoga, to be with the gurus. So invoke the gurus at the beginning. Know that you're being guided within. If any of us have read the book Autobiography of a Yogi, that I highly recommend, we get a natural initiation of Paramahamsa Yogananda and Kriya Babaji. These are beings who are waiting to be invoked. We invoke these beautiful beings so as our consciousness, we are guided to greater, deeper dimensions within our yoga. Now, yoga with a mantra is powerful. Every breath, we want it from source to source. When you put the mantra, not only is it that we are connecting to the source energy, but mantra has the form, has a dimension, a transformation. Mantra is the energy that we are simply setting a light with. Utilize mantra grace to enhance our yoga. Be source presence in the now, and most important, the mind develops focus. The mind develops resilience. The mind develops the power of singularity to be able to work with genius. The mantra has too many applications, but most important in yoga is it connects us to source, and we are now source guided. The next dimension is the universal cave, the third eye. When we sit down in yoga, it's the asana. Every posture in yoga is asana, the seats of yoga. Every posture. But within is one of the most powerful, beautiful, primordial ease seat. In other words, the seat where we have already been sitting in. We know the luxury of sitting in, and that's the third eye. As we do yoga, know that we are working with the third eye. And in the third eye cave is the presence of all the gurus, all of source, the sacredness of harmony, the absolutes of focus. The third eye also awakens us to the light above. See, when we say we are the pillar of light, we are the infinite light above and the infinite light below. When we awaken the third eye, we recognize this light. We recognize the infinity that dwells as within us, as our soul. Awakening our soul is the Paramatma, God, source. And the third eye also is the seat of the gurus. So the inner gurus awake. The next dimension, which is a very important dimension, especially in this age of yoga, is know yoga to be the union of the 5 elements. What are the 5 elements? The first is earth, the body. The second is fluidity, the flow, water. The third is fire. The fourth is air, wisdom, the wisdom beyond breath. The fifth is space, infinity itself. These 5 elements to be incorporated through our yoga enhances our yoga into that which enables us to actually be the vortex that transforms all that is. I still remember the time when I would go to my Guru Ayya up in the mountains, and it would rain all around us but not on us. I knew at that time he was that vortex of light. And to attain that vortex of light is to know that as we practice yoga, work it through the 5 elements, which leads us to the next dimension, which is do yoga nude. When we have a window space open, it's vital, so the 5 elements are involved. So the air comes in. Now when you do yoga, climb up above the navel, integrate into the 5 elements. When we integrate into the 5 elements, we've gone beyond the limits of the body. We have integrated ourselves to the heat and cold. We've set the light to more, the innermost fire. We are now the spirit in the sheath, in the body, in the sheath of the body. As spirit in the sheath of the body, we are transforming our body into bliss form, the form of bliss. Now, as in yoga without clothes on means we are able to very easily go beyond the mind to being the spirit. And as spirit, when we utilize our body and mind, we know we can work it like the way we are working the eagle. The eagle is able to glide above the realities and see the big picture. This is for the mind. And for the body, it becomes the form of experience, the innermost experience of bliss and love that it becomes. Now is the next dimension, which is, this is it's a powerful dimension from the place of enjoying the deliciousness of yoga. Within every posture is the deliciousness. Yoga is of hundreds of thousands of different postures, but every posture within contains a nectar. It contains a state of joy. It contains blessings. Every animal, every insect has something special beyond a human, uniquely. Now, every posture really relates to that which is the special in all the beings. So, when we do yoga, step into the point zero within every posture and for a moment meditate in that point zero. That is called sthira. Sthira is the primordial vibrancy that we are tapping into, and through every posture we are receiving the blessings of yoga. Okay? Then comes the next dimension, which is include in yoga skipping, jumping, dancing especially, because when we talk about yoga, the reality is the sages who practice yoga were practicing it up the mountains. Every day they would walk and climb. That is missing, that which we do. So when we do yoga, end your yoga and dancing, celebrate the spirit, celebrate the dance within as through the body and as without. Celebrate the high vibrancies that we've tapped into, remembering that we are celebrating as worship. Yoga is that worship. Next is the dimension of for all yoga practitioners, especially those who wish to be teachers. Do yoga every day. Every day, no matter what, either in a studio or at home or anywhere. There should be no excuse. There is a 24-hour cycle. We are not slaves to time. We are masters of timelessness who bend time. And within 24 hours, when we do our yoga, we are putting a wedge of timelessness in time to shape time. So when we do yoga, ensure that once a day we have completed the journey to ourselves to being whole and complete. The next dimension is yoga is tantra. In other words, tantiram. Tantiram means the unions of source at every level. Tantiram means ecstasy, orgasmic happiness at all times, at all layers. From where we are at all times, we are the vibrancies of states of joy. This is yoga. And the last point number 20, which is yoga is prayers. So before you do your yoga, whatever is troubling us, or whatever is keeping our heart heavy, or whatever we wish for, set an intent, and then through the yoga, digest it through. If there's pains and grievances or anything else, you'll understand that when you do yoga, it would be the best yoga session you've ever done. When the mind is ready to go inward, it's beautiful to ride it all the way into ourselves, to emerge a million times, to emerge the vastness. Now, as we work through our yoga, since we are utilizing mantras to meditate, since we are being aware of every breath, since we are dedicating the whole process to Source and the unions of Source, it's a great empowering form of a meditative prayer to do yoga and Source connect to being the yogi. So, divine beings, join me January 23rd. The link's on my bio for the event Ignite the Superhuman You, wherein we work with the functionalities of realities such as abundance, such as love, such as health and vitality, such as our ability of optimal thinking and thought, and align it to our vibrancies of unfolding realities. So grateful for the moment shared. My book, Mastery of Consciousness, holds the deeper teachings of the secrets within yoga, and it has the 108 sutras of consciousness. So, divine beings, to do yoga is the ultimate blessing. To be the yogi is to wake up our inner sun, which is a natural process of yoga. Attainment of consciousness means creating the heavens from the bliss that we are. Health, vitality, all of the joys of yoga and the benefits of yoga through yogam is a human with the right of each human, each of us. Grateful. Namaste. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Grateful for the moments we shared together. To learn more or to connect with Nandhiji, email us awake@nandhi.com, NANDHI.com, or visit our website nandhiji.com, NANDHIJI.com. In grace and blessings as one. Om Namah Shivaya.